Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Lili Nishma, Simi Mirosi Ruspas Mordechai. Gonna wait around a little bit for the Olam to start coming after Slichas. They're probably doubting the Slichas different places, or maybe from last night. They're a little few minutes. The place will fill up. Be'ezer Hashem. Welcome, dear Rebelli. I'm an entomologist, someone who works with insects. I've been a Talmud with the Shir since Megillah. I've enjoyed all the insect references, such as the bees and the mustard. I've been in your live share a few times in Chicago. While my knowledge of Gemara isn't particularly high, and certainly I did not know that Avram's mother was a Mital Bat Karnavo. I do feel comfortable bringing up two clarifications about the fig wasps from Daf 93. First, they are actually a wasp, not a fly.
You said wasp.
No, it's called a fig wasp. I said it's a fly. And I apologize to you. You're wrong. It's a fly. Second, most of the figs purchased commercially today are self-pollinated and don't actually have the wasp getting stuck inside the fig. So now we could go back and eat those figs without any worries. That part was probably true in the times of the Gemara. David Lowenstein, Shkoyach. This person wrote me in Hebrew. He just wants to say that there's a geschmacky guy that's getting married for the first time. He's 45 years old. He's getting married today, and we should wish him. He's a big part of MDY. He's with MDY for 2 years. What's his name here? Shalom Weiss. He comes from Sacramento, California, and he moved to like Muncie, I think. And now he's marrying a woman from Sacramento, so he's moving back to Sacramento. Mamish, full circle. It means maybe one day he'll bring us people from Sacramento. He writes here. Thank you for the shiurim. The great charts. Rebelli, on the share of Tisha B'Av, you posted a picture of my Daf Yomi buddy, Ellis Weinstein from Lakewood, giving a Daf Yomi share in camp, making a shmaka matzav out of learning the Daf. Oh, we're wearing an MDY cap, of course. You say that once a person starts doing the Daf, it takes about 90 days to fully integrate it into yourself. Well, I want to say that this Ellis guy, he became a chassan on day 91. Okay? Once he got integrated, then you could think about marriage, I guess. That's a... Okay?
He got chassanated.
Huh?
Got integrated, then he got chassanated.
Integrated and chassanated. I think we see from here the great power of learning the daf and doing it every day. The Kol should be zechus, the Bava Basra Yisrael attaches the Vart invite, which we celebrated this past Thursday. Here, this is if anybody remembers the picture in camp. Okay. I want to send the biggest shukar to Rebbitzen Stefansky, the whole MDY team for such a geschmack Torah on the daf. I like this one. Why? Because this is Sergeant Ben-Zion Glicksman from the Hill Air Force Base in Utah. He does the daf in Hill Air Force Base in Utah. I'm not sure if I'm the only one in Utah currently listening to your shiurim, but my daughter just moved there to Utah. I don't think she listens to the shiurim though. Maybe my son-in-law listens to some competition. I don't know. But I'm looking for other people on base who want to learn the daf with me as well. Thanks again. And I think somebody in the army already made some sort of app that could connect. This is from a Magid Shir, Rabbi Ari Esterson from East Boca. The Magid Shir in the Daf Yomi Magid Shir in East Boca. I don't know if I should. What? You know the guy? And he was giving shir. He's good. Yeah, Avada. He's tremendous. Let's talk Lashon Hara now in front of. He said he's very good. As I was listening to your shir on Friday morning, I'm just like, what was I asking? Like, if he wasn't good, and you said no, he wasn't good, we'd have to start the whole shir over again. But Baruch Hashem, he's very good. I asked because I know him. As I was listening to the shir on Friday morning, a thought struck me. You mentioned the case of two people depositing money, you won 100. You're gonna love this. Mamish Ashtikal Gaiva before Rosh Hashanah, 100, and the other one 200, and what do you do with the other? It says so hearing these words made me think how fitting. It's people that left Gemara, they were munach achiyava Eliyahu. As we get close to Rosh Hashanah, I wanted to thank you on behalf of everyone who benefits from your shir, from the Magid Shir, to the people who have felt placed aside. May Hashem continue to give you the strength and ability to teach, reach, and inspire for many years to come. Wishing you Ksiv Toiva, Rabbi Ari Esterson, East Boca Magid Shir, Yishkoyach Rebbe Aryeh. I was least these guys enjoy. Okay, fine. Mazel tov to Mr. and Mrs. Ezra Cohen on the bris. Check this out. At the bris of the kid, right behind the mizrach, is a giant poster. Mr. and Mrs. Ezra Cohen on the bris of their son Yisrael Yehuda Kohen this morning, starting things off right immediately after the ceremony. And Rabbi Isai, the koil sponsored by Binyomin Rosenfeld for hatzlacha in business. The Mazel sponsored for the saving speedy return of all the hostages. Parnassa B'revach, myself, Abba Renner, Dr. Moshe Tzvi Dalber, for the shleima and safe speedy return of all of our Chayalim. Parnassa Chodesh, matching Rebelli's donation, the zchut Chayalim for the month. Parnassa Chodesh. Binyomin Rosenfeld, for all the zchusim that come from supporting limud HaTorah. Parnassa Shavua, Kidnovations LLC in honor of my uncle Rebbitzen Pressman and Fishel. Should be zchus for Akiva Simcha Ben Fayga, a shidduch for Rivka Yehudis Zechurya. And thank you to Rebbitzen Stefansky for selflessly giving up her husband for the klal. Should be zchus for a year filled with Mazel, Bracha, hatzlacha, Parnassa B'revach and Refuah. Parnassa Shavua, Eli Stefansky Miro Bas Avraham. The Neshama should have an aliyah. Parnassa Shavua, Sheldon and Donna Reich, in memory of Donna's father, Noach Ben Pinchas Halevi, and Sheldon's father, Noach Ben Yehuda. May the Neshamas have aliyot. Amen. Parnassa Yoy, Binyomin Gross, in honor of my father, Avrumi Gross, who got me to join the Daf 500 days ago. That's the greatest gift the father could get his son. Join the Daf 500 days ago. And the art of the month for zchus, for Rebelli, and the whole NDY staff continue to make Torah so enjoyable for so many.
Back right, Matis Cooper.
Oh, Matis Cooper Wasser. Who's that? You in the corner? From? Where are you from? Who? Oh, Ramabit Shemesh. That's how you know him.
He's in choir.
Ah, he has a good voice. He's a choir boy. Givaldi. And what's your name, Tzaddik? You. Yeah, you.
Richard.
From?
London.
Richard from London. What's your last name, Richard?
Goldstein.
Richard Goldstein from London. Where do you live?
Hendon.
Hendon. I'm not exaggerating. I met another guy that made Aliyah last night. He came to this year. Last week, I met at least 4 or 5 different people that made Aliyah. You know, it's crazy what's going on. It's unbelievable. Okay, should all have. It's not. I wasn't hinting to you. Richard, I wasn't hinting to you, but I thought maybe you're one of those guys. Any more of the Aliyah guys? Oh, there is somebody in the back. He's hiding from me. He's. Okay, if you hide, you hide. I get it. I got the hint. Omar Rav Yehuda. We are holding 5 lines from the bottom of Daf Tzadik Hey Amud Beis. Yain hanimkar b'chanus mevarchem olav boirei pri hagafen. So, if you remember, we had all these, just to refresh everybody's memory, there's wine that's pretty decent. This is the terrible wine, that's why I'm spitting it out. It's completely vinegar. And this smells really bad. This is the one that we're going to be discussing today, for the most part. Yain kaisis, also known as yain hanimkar b'chanus. They sell it like, even just 50 years ago, they used to sell, a cup of Coca-Cola in the drugstore. You go like this, you get a cup. They would sell this stuff in the store. It's on its way out. It has very few days left. It smells really bad. It smells like vinegar. It tastes good. So you're thirsty. It's a good drink. It just doesn't smell very good. What bracha do you make on something like that? So wine has this very special bracha. Boirei pri hagafen. It's a something special. People spend a lot of time with it. There's mevinim, connoisseurs. They go like this, and they put it in the palate, and it has a little chocolatey flavor and an aroma of cinnamon. And the whole. But what if the aroma is not cinnamon? It smells a shtickle, shtickle vinegary. Do you make that special bracha boirei pri hagafen? Machlokes. Rav Yehuda says boirei pri hagafen. Rav Chizda says gabi chamra da akrim lamali. What do I need to make a special bracha on something that's spoiling? It's about to spoil. I'm going to make a nice bracha on it. So what bracha do I make on it? Shakol. So that's pretty much our sugya today. What bracha do you make on this kind of wine? It's 50-50. It's half-half. It tastes good, smells bad. What do you do? Meisvei. So you have a kasha on Rav Yehuda from this brayso. It says ala pas sheipsha, bread that has little mold. Valayayin shehikrim, And this is our story, l'chayr. This is wine that's spoiling. Val tafshil she'ibru tzurasai. And on food that's starting to spoil. Oimer shahakol niya b'dvari. On bread that you make hamoitzi lechem in haaretz. It's a shahakol. It's already, we don't consider it bread. This is considered something else. This is spoiled bread is something else. But the point is, yayin shekrim, wine that's spoiling, you don't make a bar priyagofen. It seems like Rav Chizda is right. Not Rav Yehuda. Rav Yehuda said you make a bar priyagofen. It says, oimer shakol niya b'dvaroi. Just thinking this, how did they find penicillin? Which probably saved tens of millions, I don't know, maybe billions of lives even. Who knows, from the time they found it. Antibiotics, right? How did they find it? From a little mold. Red mold. Mold. So, ala pasha ipsha, you have a mold on a bread, you say, shahakol niya b'dvaroi. Everything, even the mold on the bread, has a certain tzorech, I guess. Shahakol niya, even that. Huh?
Even mold. It's food.
I know. It's b'derech zechus. Not on the mold. On the bread that's moldy and you don't eat the mold. I know, you eat around the mold. No. But how do you do that? So Rav Zvid explains, it's not such a big kasha. Why? Purtzima is another level of wine. It's even less. This is wine that's made out of the leftover seeds of the grapes. There's unbelievable wine. There's kaisis, which is good, but it smells bad. And then there's karnasa. That's the stuff that you're purtzima, the mizdabin karnasa, purtzima. It's when you're in the street, you're very, very thirsty. So today we go into a store, we buy a bottle of water. What do they do then? The guy on the side of the street, he would sell like really bad stuff, the cheapest of the cheap, but it's good enough if you're very, very thirsty, sweating away. You drink purtzima, the mizdabin karnasa. Okay, that is a shahakol. But what I'm talking about, says Rav Yehuda, my machlokes Rav Chizda is something else, not purtzima. I'm arguing about kaisis. It tastes good, just it smells bad. Okay, so that's it. Omalei Abai Rav Yosef. So Abai asks his Rebbe, Rav Yosef, Ha Rav Yehuda, Ha Rav Chizda. We have Rav Yehuda who says that you on the kaisis, this wine that smells bad, you make a hagafen. Rav Chizda says you make a shakal. Rebbe, who do you passing like? What should I do? Omalei Masnisa Yadano. I know a brisa. That's all I know. Now it's a little aggravating because we're going to go through an entire Amud to understand where he got it from the brisa, what he sees exactly. And at the end of the day, it's not clear. It was clear from the brisa, so we had a good. So he told us. I saw in the brisa that what's going to happen is I saw in the brisa, and he brings us a machlokes in the brisa. So what did he passing like? Like this or like this? I don't know. It's a brisa. What's the brisa? It's literally a whole amud. The sanya haboidik is a chaves lias mafresh alei truma v'hoilach. It's a very, very geschmack. A guy sells a lot of wine. He has 100 barrels. Now from each barrel you have to take 2% to give it for truma, and then whatever's left over from that you take 10%, and you give meiser to the Levi, 2% to the Kohen, 10% to the Levi. Now he has to sell it with trumas and meisers. He wants to sell it already potter from trumas, not tevel. Tevel, if somebody drank from it, would be us. It's a deraisa. So what does he do? He takes one barrel, puts it on the side. Every time somebody buys a barrel from him, he says, okay, truma and meiser from this is going to be in that barrel. This little part right over here is truma meiser. Then the next barrel, he goes down a little bit. This part is going to be truma. This part. Every day he uses the barrel for another truma meiser and another barrel. Now, let's think about it. First, he has to open up this barrel and taste the wine to make sure it's good wine. Because if it's bad, if the wine in the designated truma and meiser barrel is bad, you cannot take truma and meiser from vinegar on wine. So, lechatchila. So, you can't take from oh, you mean according to Rebbe that's 1 min? Okay, fine. It's 2 minim. 2 minim. So, what does he do? He must taste it. Taisa says he doesn't have to taste it. Just stick your nose in there, Smell, it smells good. Okay, we're good, right? Because there's a smell. As long as it smells good, it's still this kaisis thing, and kaisis is okay. Rashbam says he tasted it. So just a technical thing. How do you taste wine from a barrel? If you take trumas, first of all, if there's no trumas and meisers on this barrel, is he allowed to taste it? No, why not? It's tevel. This is the rice to taste it. On a fast, you might be able to taste food from a pot, but not if it's the rice. You have to take trumas and meisers. Now, to take trumas and meisers from the whole barrel, you cannot do, because if you did that, then the barrel is not going to be available to take trumas and meisers for other barrels. You want to use it. So what do? You take 1 cup out of the top, and then you pour a little bit of the cup, and you say, this little bit that I'm pouring is the trumas and meisers. Now you have 1 cup that's not tevel, and now you drink from that. Okay. So now you drink, everything's good. Perfect. It's a great barrel. Now what? So he uses his barrel. A guy comes in, buys a barrel from here. He says, okay, that barrel I designated, it's on the shelf right over there. I'm going to take a little bit, 10%, 12% from that barrel. I'm going to use it for trumas and meisers. Okay. And then big problem happens. One day, he opens up the barrel, the designated barrel for trumas and meisers, and he finds out that it's vinegar. In the beginning, it was perfect. Right now, it's vinegar. We have a big problem. He sold a bunch of barrels over the week. Let's say it's a 10-day. Let's say he opened up a barrel on Sunday, it was great. 10 days later, he finds out that it's vinegar. What do? No, what would you guys say? Today, it's vinegar. Now, if I go back a few days, from the time it's vinegar, I should probably go backwards.
That's because kosher wine.
No, right now it's like a mikveh also. Right now I check a mikveh, it's not good. So whoever's titled it right before. Right now I check the barrel, it is vinegar. Whatever I took right now is no good. The truma is no good. Yesterday, what about yesterday? No, but it takes 3 days to become vinegar. So these are the 2 options, or there's actually 3 options.
Last time you checked it.
Huh?
Or the last time you checked it.
Oh, so here's the case. You checked it right over here on Sunday, where it's green. So one option is, let's read the words here. Kol shleisha yamim vaday. 3 days, it's great. What's vaday? It's certain. Certain what? Good or bad?
Bad.
Bad. You say certain bad.
Because you said it takes 3 days.
Right.
Or 3 days from the last time you checked it.
It could also mean that the first 3 days are perfect. Kol shleisha yamim vaday. I don't know. It's a riddle. Kol shleisha yamim vaday. The first 3 days are certain. Mikan ve'elach safek. And from here on out, it's a safek. So now let me show you the 2 options. It could either mean the first 3 days, you hear Nachman, first 3 days is good, check. And from Tuesday on, I don't know, everything's demai. We don't know. Or it can mean the last 3 days are definitely not good. And everything before that is a suffix. What else could it mean?
It's suffix because you tasted it the first day and it was good. You can't say that.
I hear. What?
Every day and check.
Okay, you have to, but he didn't.
He didn't do it.
It could also be this. It could be like Mendy is saying. It could be like the first 3 days are good, and the last 3 days are bad, and everything in between is bad. But it doesn't really say, but it says Kol Shleishi Yamim. Maybe it means that. Michael Omar, what did he mean? Did he mean from the 3 first days or the 3 last days? So of course we have a machlokes. Omar Rabbi Yochanan, Hachik Omar, Kol Shleishi Yamim Rishonim Vaday Yain. No, we're talking about the first 3 days. It's certainly wine. Mikan ve'elach safek. That's what it meant. It meant the first 3 days, and I'll explain. My timer. Chamro miloyakar. First of all, you should know that wine, when it spoils, when it goes bad, it starts from the top and works its way down. So when I took wine from the top right over here, I took from potential bad. That's where it's going to start being bad. And I tasted it, and it was good. So that means it didn't even start going bad. Wine starts spoiling and becoming vinegar from the top, says Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Shimon ben Levi says the opposite. It starts from the bottom and works its way up. Not 100% negeh to us, really. It's another side svara over here. That you should know wine starts spoiling from the top. This guy took out a cup of wine all the way from the top where it's supposed to spoil. He tasted it, it's not spoiled. Now, even if you say, maybe. The moment you tasted it, from that moment on, right? Because a lot of times, once you open up a bottle of wine, you can have a bottle of wine sitting in your house. It's perfect. You open it up for Kiddush, it tastes good. Once you open it up, today, I'm talking about today, once you open up those bottles of wine, what happens? You have a week, max, and then after a week it's spoiled, right? So maybe that's what happened. Maybe he opened up this barrel, it tasted good. From that moment on, it started spoiling. You caused it to spoil. Okay. But even so, even if it started spoiling immediately, you still have 3 days, 3 freebies. That's exactly our sugya. What is this called? Kaisis/nimker b'chanos. It's reicha chala. It smells like vinegar. V'tami chamra, but it tastes like wine. V'chol reicha chala. V'tami chamra, chamra. So I ask you a question. Abai asked his Rebbe a question. Rebbe, what bracha do you make on wine that smells like vinegar but tastes like wine? Says Rabbi Elchanan, chamra. You make a bayir priya gafen. Okay, that's Rabbi Elchanan. But then there's another shita. So what do? The Hasidim like to say a story before Pesach. It's good for Parnassa because things are not the best every Pesach in terms of Parnassa. A lot of expenses. So they say the Maisa with Ramaylich Milazensk, which I was like to be with, where is he? Dave and some other guys. A few weeks ago. So he says they say that a chassid came to the Rebbe. They said, Rebbe, they caught me not paying taxes or something. They're saying on all my wine. Well, he was mamish crying. So Melech Mazen said, tell him it's water. So he said, it's water. So he tasted it. It's water. But then the chassid came back to the Rebbe, but now it's water. I need wine. He says, no, it's wine. Don't worry, it's wine. Maybe that's what's going on. It's like it smells like this. It is that. Okay. But then they have a whole nidan. But l'maisa, the guy tasted it. So doesn't it make it yain nesach? Okay. Kasha v'maisa.
He tasted it was water.
Oh, there's no yain nesach on water. It's fine. But he touched it. He mixed it up when he took the cup out.
You take the cup and give it to him.
Oh, but that's not what happened. Who said that's what happened?
We don't know what happened.
We don't know what happened.
You don't know if it happened before. I don't think it happened.
Don't be apicars. Yeshua ben Levi Omar. Kol shloisha yomim v'achroinim vadei choymetz. So Yeshua ben Levi says, this is what's happening over here. The last 3 days is certainly vinegar. Mikan alon sofek. Mikan alon is not forward but backwards. From the 8th day all the way to the first day, it's all, or 7th day all the way to the first day, it's all vinegar or sofek. My taima. You should know that wine. First of all, I argue on Rebbe Elchanan doesn't start spoiling from the top, it spoils from the bottom. So this is mamish machlokes and metzias. We got to ask the scientists how it works. Now, when you tasted it, it's possible it started spoiling, you had no clue. And even if you say that it starts spoiling from the top, and he tasted it and it wasn't spoiled, but perhaps it started spoiling immediately. So now we have the situation called kaisis, or nimker b'chanos, or reiche chala, it smells like vinegar and it tastes like wine. Reiche chala, the halacha is it's vinegar. So Rav Yosef, if he passing like Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi, he would passing that it has the halacha of vinegar, and vinegar you make a shahakol, not hagofen. So as we stand right now, we have a machlokes, is it hagofen or shahakol? Rabbi Yosef told us to look in this brisa, and in the brisa we see that there's 2 shitas. Hagofen and shahakol still he didn't answer about anything. But this might help us, says the Rashbam, because Ramai Masnu Mishmei der Yeshua ben Levi, the ones in the south, they said in the name of Yeshua ben Levi, Rishonim v'adayayin, achroinim v'adachoyim. Here it goes like this. It's a combination. We're using both shitas. A little bit of Rabbi Yochanan in the beginning and Rabbi Shua ben Levi at the end, and Memela. So according, what does that mean? So we have to understand what that means. Rishonim v'adayayin. The first 3 days is definitely wine. Achroinim v'adachoyim. In the last 3 days is definitely vinegar. Emtsaim suffix. Everything in the middle is a suffix. And we have to understand the Gufa Kashis. It seems like a contradiction because on the one hand you're using Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan holds that if it smells like vinegar and tastes like wine, it's ha'gafen, and therefore the 3 first days make sense. And Rabbi Shua ben Levi holds that if it smells like vinegar and tastes like wine, it's shahakol, so the last 3 days make sense, but it's a contradiction. Is it ha'gafen or shahakol? It's considered wine and therefore it's ha'gafen. And on the flip side, you're saying that the last 3 days are considered definitely vinegar. Why? Because when it smells like vinegar, it's vinegar. Tastes like wine, smells like alma reiche chala. V'tame chamra tastes like tastes like chamra chala.
3 days is vinegar. The end of the time.
Right. But it takes 3.
We don't know about. But when he tasted it, it was vinegar.
When he tasted all the way at the end, it was vinegar. Right. Correct. Says the Gemara, I'll tell you. Yeshua and Levi actually holds like Rabbi Yochanan. See here, that's the key over here, says Roshbam. Once you say that Yeshua ben Levi actually holds like Rabbi Yochanan, then the law is like Rabbi Yochanan. There's no argument. Everybody holds like Rabbi Yochanan. Where's the argument? Rabbi Yochanan holds like Rabbi Yochanan, and Yeshua ben Levi holds like Rabbi Yochanan. So nobody argues on him. That what? That the first 3 days is 100% good. Therefore, we see from this brisa, according to the Ramai, that reiche chala v'tame chamra, our case of the sugya, it's actually hagafen. So what's pshat? Then why in this chart right over here, when you have it tastes like vinegar on the last day, we go back 3 days and we say it is vinegar. We're talking about a very good vinegar, the one you buy in the store. It's ready to go. It's real vinegar. Vinegar like that takes 6 days to become vinegar. Memela, since it takes 6 days, the lav dogat lasi yoimel leham mishtaka chala siftika. If it wasn't 100% vinegar 3 days ago, then it wouldn't be a perfect vinegar because it takes 6 days to become vinegar. So for sure, 3 days it was vinegar, not this in between wine vinegar. It was vinegar because in order to get to the level of vinegar that is today, which is the top level of vinegar, it must have happened 6 days ago. But 3 days ago was for sure vinegar, which is no good. But I, Rabbi Shua ben Levi, hold that just 3 days, the first 3 days, it's okay. It's hagafen. Kiman pashalei. And who? So okay, we just did a whole sugi. We don't know who Rabbi Yosef Paskin like. Pligibar of Mari, but this doesn't help us. This is machlokes who he paskin like. So Abaya asked him, "How do you paskin like Rabbi Yehuda, Rav Chizda?" This is machlokes. So now machlokes how he passing like. This is our golus, mamish golus. That's part of the golus. So we have everything is a machlokes, everything. However, the Rashbam, Kedar Kodesh, he says it seems like from here that we paskin like Rabbi Yochanan because the Ramai said in Rabbi Shua ben Levi that he was like Rabbi Yochanan. Brand new sugya. Itmar. Person sells a bottle of wine to someone. You go to the store, you buy a bottle of wine, you come home, you open it up, it's chaymetz. I told you the Maisa Shoya. I was in a restaurant in Yerushalayim, and they had my favorite wine. I'm not going to say what it was because then people are going to start sending it to me. So I said, if you want to get me a gift, bring one guy to the shir. That's the best gift you can get me. So I bought. It was what do they call the giant bottles? Magnum. They had a Magnum Castel 2003. Mashu Meshuga. I've never seen it. It was like 20 years old. Like the first year, 2006 maybe, because it was a year that it wasn't kosher. So I asked the guy how much he wants. He told me a price. I said, okay. I said, and what if it's spoiled? Spoiled, don't worry about it. Give you your money back, no problem. Kitzer. So first, he charged me for the waiter on it. What is it called? The tip. On the bottle, he put it in the bill. Okay, problem number one. It's like, no, that was a different purchase. It's not part of my meal. This is like, I'm just, okay, fine. The 20% tip, you know what I'm saying? Okay, fine. Then I come home and we had shmaki guests, whatever. So we're going to open up this bottle. Oh, it's that week, whatever. Open up the bottle, the magnum. Reichi chala v'tamei chala. It was vinegar shebe vinegar. Since 2003 Saturday. So my wife takes the kids to this particular restaurant. This is the restaurant they like to go. So she went there with the bottle. She gave it back. First we called him up. He said, listen, no, I can't give you back the money. So I can't give you back the money, but I'll give you credit. They went to the restaurant. I don't know how many, at least a year's worth of, they kept on going and going. Every time, credit. Okay, but Baruch Hashem, we got our money back. Yeah? So, you buy a bottle of wine, but over here we made the deal. I told the guy, listen, I'm choishes. This is 2003 or 6. It's Meshuggah. It's old.
20% on the bottle.
No, forget that. Just, no. I'm telling you, that was a different story. What?
Did you get your tip back?
That's what he asked. Don't worry. It's Michael. Okay. Sometimes you just have to like, Baruch Hashem, we got it back. Okay. So, it's a very good restaurant. What do? You come home, you open up the bottle of wine, it's spoiled. You're not going to believe this. You have 3 days. Look, it takes 3 days to spoil. So it's possible that it's spoiled in your possession. You bought it, it was good. 3 days later, it's vinegar. So you have no right that it was spoiled in the store. And from here on out, it's your problem. Daf Tzadik Vav Amud Beis, sponsored by Yaakov Sitram from Sitram Film, and the zchus, the neshamas of the 6 hostages that were killed. Seems like years ago, but it's just 3 weeks ago. Ushmul Amar. Oh, who are these guys? Shalom Aleichem, watching the shir together on a woman. That's the new chabura they got together? In Queens? Wow. Kol kavod. Yosef Babayov. How you doing? The guy all the way to the left. Shalom Aleichem Yosef. That's a guy. We have to learn from this guy. There are doers and there are non-doers. Who do you want to be with? There are guys that just come and they take, and by the siyum, they come, they say, listen, you should pay for my siyum. Why? Kacha. That's how it goes. No. There's guys that make the siyum. They run, they do, they go. These are the guys we're looking for. Bemis. Take the thing, you just started this year, a few weeks ago. We're going together, we're going to do this together. Give out. You should go, Mechayel L'choyel. Your group should grow, it should be a huge group. Look at this, beautiful. And also you should know, they have groups in Brooklyn. I don't know if this week, but they had a group. This is interesting, this is very late by them. What time? Oh, it's after Slichas. Or before, but they have, look, Babayev probably does Slichas since 2 months already in Slichas. It's not a big deal. Ashkenazim, we just got up, look, we mamish, we're Kaddish V'tar, we're up till 12:30. These Sfardim have been doing it for a month. Okay. Zog the Gemara. Shkoyach. Shmuel Omar. Chamro. Akat v'demori shovar. Listen to this. Unbelievable. So we should read the Rashbam inside. It's so beautiful. Shmuel Omar. Shmuel says, if you bring the wine home and it's spoiled, it's your fault, not the store's fault. Look, it takes 3 days to spoil. Mishum the chamra gaba the gavra shovar. Al katev ha'odam medali. Koloimar, it's on his shoulders. Koloimar, Mazel goyrim. Chet shel balayayin. What caused it to spoil? The sins of the owner of the wine. And he brings a pasuk. Kinafkel kamon midchsiv. Af. No, because I made it. Smart Alec. Somebody take him out right now. I made a deal with him. I said it's spoiled. It is not because I have experience. I already had battles like this. His Zaidi, Rabbi Jacobs, gave me a bunch of old bottles, mamish expensive bottles from that exact company. Very, very hard for them to stay good more than like 10 years. After 10 years, it's like well, sometimes yes, sometimes not. I had experience. I told them, I said, listen, I think it's spoiled. No, look, and all the simanim. I said, okay, but give me a warranty. You can make, in Momenis, you can make any deal you want. He said, if you come home and it's spoiled, even though it's probably from your sins, I'll give you your money back. That's what he said. You can make any deal you want. With my sins, without my sins.
Buying wine.
But in wine it says.
Honest, that's like putting your money on Kevin the shot when you buy wine.
Not all wine. I had a lot of experience with this wine. It's excellent wine for a few years, but then it's just normal for it. It's not like in the olden days that the longer it stays, 500 years, it's even better. No, these wines have like a shelf life, especially in a restaurant that doesn't have a cooler. It's sitting there at night in the heat, and it's who knows what it went through. So, Midchsiv Afki Ayayin Boigid. There's a pasuk, and it brings the Gemara later on, 2 days from now. There's a thing about Yayin and Boigid, about being over Avera, Boigid, it causes the wine to spoil. What about the fact that it takes 3 days? How does it work together? So it seems like Taisus kind of argues on the Rishbam. If you look at Taisus over here, I don't know how to show it to you, but it's like where the first time that it becomes wide lines, like 6-7 lines down, it says V'nir lefarish l'Rabbeinu Tam, Chamra katvi the Gaber Shavak Kaloimar. Hayayin kivin shinu soybek. Since you schlepped it somewhere, it gets ruined when you schlep it around. It starts moving around. You start shaking it. That umir lahachmitz. It takes quicker to become chometz, to become vinegar than the typical 3 days. So Reb Mendy told me. He said he went to a store. He bought a bunch of bottles of wine. Now you know how like some companies, all the labels look the same. They just switch. It says Merlot, Cabernet Sauvignon, whatever it is. So he thought he's buying one type of bottle. He comes home, it's like different. So he goes back to the store. He says, "Listen, I like this wine, but I want all Merlot, whatever it was." So the guy says, "Listen, I'm sorry. We have a policy. Once you take it out the door, I can't take it back. I don't know how many hours you left it in your car. Maybe you left it in a hot car for 3-4 hours and it's no good. I don't know. I'm sorry. I know what I do. It's all cooled at a certain temperature. Mazel with me. I once left a case of wine in my car. I found like 2 days later, spoiled. Sat there in the sun. Who knows what? So, the Gemara the Shovar. Okay. Says the Gemara, but it's an interesting thing, that your Averis have a hashpa on your metaltalin, on your zchusim, at least on wine. But who knows on what else it has? It has hashpa on everything. Says the Gemara, Ovad Rav Yosef, 2 lines down. Ovad Rav Yosef, uvdik avosei the Rav b'shichra. Interesting. The beer also spoils in 3 days. So he said, your beer is spoiled, but the first 3 days is on the store. After 3 days, that's your problem. But Rav Yosef himself, we're talking about Rav Yosef, before Abai asked Rav Yosef what to do, ukavosei the Shmuel b'chamra. And when it comes to wine, he said, no. As soon as you take it out of the store, that's it. The store owner's potter. Maybe because of this pasuk, that this pasuk only talks about wine, not other things. I don't know. However, says the Gemara of Hilchasa, Kavosei the Shmuel said, interesting. Shmuel said his halacha b'negeh to wine. The halacha is like Shmuel, but the halacha is like Shmuel in everything, even in beer. Stick that in, put it in your pencil. Write it down. The halacha like Shmuel, even when it comes to beer, as soon as you take it out of the store, it's your problem, not the store owner's problem. Tanur Rabbana. Echad sheichar tomorrow, another sugya. Whether a person makes beer out of dates, v'echad sheichar soirim, and whether you make beer out of barley, which they do today, dates. I know in jail they'll take anything. They'll make beer out of apples, whatever fruit you give them. They're gonna make beer. There's a whole system over there. They drink, they get chicken, all zach, right? How? From these kind of things. Sheichar tmarim, sheichar soirim, ve'echad shimri yain. So this is what we're going to be talking about. This is interesting stuff. This is shimri yain. Yeah, let's say these are lees in English. It's the leftover stuff on the bottom, the seeds, the what? The dregs. Dregs. Lees. Call it whatever you want. I like lees.
Why?
I don't know. It sounds
like drugs. Go with
it's harder to say. That's right. Okay.
Yeah, the other cup on the other side.
Shmak. Okay, that one is better. So you take these dregs, these lees, take lee, and you pour water on it, and out comes some sort of juice. What bracha do you make on it? Mevarchem aleim shakol niye b'dvaroi. Shakol. Acher moirim shmorim sheyesh b'hem tam yain. If out of these lees comes a little bit of wine, it tastes a little bit like wine. Mevarch aleim b'yir pri hagafen. Says the Gemara, Rabbi Yosef Damer Tarvayu, ein halacha k'acherim. We don't pass it like that. It's a shahakol. You pour water onto these dregs, whatever it's called. It's shahakol. Omar Rava. So let me just show you real quickly, Gevaldik, what Yoshi did here. Mincha Shabbos. I told him this idea, and Mazel Shabbos, boom, Gevaldik, came out great. There's a bowl full of lees, and there's a spout on the bottom. What you do is you pour water on top, and out comes some red juice. What's the halacha? So two halachas we know for a fact. One case, two cases we know what halacha is. One case, this is a machlokes. This is one case. He poured 3, and out comes 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh. This case, 100% is wine. You make hagaf. And again, you pour 3 water, and all of a sudden 4 comes out. It's not a nace. There's a bunch of wine stuck in those lees, and when you pour water, it pushes it all out. Out comes 4. Instead of 3, out comes 4. Now, as the Gemara is going to explain, that's normal for wine. In the time of the Gemara, they did meziga. They would mix very strong wine, 1 part wine, 3 parts water. That's exactly what happened there. There's 1 part wine stuck in those chartzanim. So I put 3 parts water, out comes a 4th part wine. Beautiful. That's B'yir Pri Hagafen. That's case number 1. Case number 2, what if you put in 3 water and out came 3 bottles? So what came out? Water came out. If you put 3 in and 3 come out, it's a raya that it didn't push nothing more. Exactly what you poured in came out. No. So exactly what you poured in came out. You poured in water, came out water. So this is definitely a shahakal. The machlokes would be, what happens if 3.5 come out? And there's a beautiful svara here. So let's see inside. Omar Rava. The kuli alma ramat lasav asa arba chamrahu. If you throw in 3 bottles of water and out come 4 pinkish looking things like petal, then you should know you got yourself a good deal. It's wine. And memela, you make a b'yir pri hagafen. Rava tamei domar Rava. If you don't put al chatlas mayo, you don't put 3 waters to 1 grape, to 1 wine. Lav chamrahu. Rava was throughout Shas professional moizeg. He knew how to make that perfect mix, the perfect mix. And his trick was 3-to-1 ratio. And that's exactly what happened over here. He put 3 water, out come 4. So Mele had the perfect mix. In fact, the Gemara in Eruvin, they found it for me in the middle of Shir yesterday. I said, I remember the Maisa where Rava upset Rav Yosef. I forgot exactly what he said there. He upset him. They were talking learning. He said as Rava was like a Talmud. So Rav Yosef was makbid on him. Rava, Erev Yom Kippur, because we're talking about Erev Yom Kippur, it's Negea to us. He went to ask him Mechila, right? That's what we do. We try to find the people that we hurt. Hello, b'moichami Rabboisai, all the people I insulted. It's a different parasha. So he went to look for the guy. He went to look for Rav Yosef, Erev Yom Kippur, and he found him. And he was walking, and he said that he saw they were pouring wine for Rav Yosef. He said, "Let me do it." So he does the mixture, and they gave the cup to Rav Yosef. Rav Yosef was blind then. Rav Yosef drinks it. He says, "Oh, this tastes like your Rava's wine. This mamish tastes like Rava." And he says, "Yeah, it's me." And then they made up, and everything was good. In other words, Rav is known throughout Shas 3-to-1, so it's perfect. 3-to-1, that's great. What about Romat Lasa Vasat Lasa? If he added 3 parts water and out came 3 parts, Veloy Klumo, Gardish Mitnish, that's water. Kipligi, the Ramat Lasa Vasat Lasa Upalga. He put 3 in and 3.5 came out. No, so what's the Shaila? Isn't that good? The Rabban and Savrit Lasa Ayot Lasa Nafik. He put in 3 water, you're right, 3 water came out. But Pashle Palga, but 1/2 came out. Look, check this picture out. Let's do this larger. So the item sees. The 3 on the left maybe is water. But there's 1 wine. He only put 3 in and out came 3.5. So 1 is wine. Upalgo beshita palga ma'ivele klumu. That's not enough. That's not good. That's 1/6. 1/6 is not enough to make a bayir bria gofen. The Ramah actually paskins that 1/6 is enough, I believe, and the Mechaber says it has to be 4 times the amount. And they go and they say because the Mechaber had, he says the strong wine, the Ramah didn't have strong wine. Oh, Maisa, okay, I ain't shum. Don't quote me on this. So the Rabbanon Savrit Lasa Ayot Lasa Nafik Pashne Palga. Upagam Shita Palga Mayel V'Leikum. V'Acherim Savrei. Listen to this. You see this picture, 3.5 came out? So they say no. You know what happened? When you put 3 in, you know how much came out? 2.5. In other words, 2.5 water came out. There's 3.5 bottles, that's true. But what happened scientifically? He said, listen, let's talk about 1. If I put 1 bottle of water on top of that, and 1 bottle of something comes out on the bottom, what came out? 100% water came out? Not true. My water pushed wine out. So it's very possible that some of my water actually stayed in the upper bowl over there. And what happened? Wine came out. So they say, listen what happened. When you put 3 bottles, 3 liters of water on top, only 2.5 liters of water came out. What else came out? Check this out. This is what happened. They say 2.5. You put 3 bottles of water in there, only 2.5 bottles of water came out. But those 3 bottles pushed out 1 whole bottle of wine. It's not a half a bottle of wine like you're saying. You're saying it was a half. And a half is 1/6 of 3 bottles. That's not wine. No, I'm saying that it actually pushed out real wine. How much? A full bottle. And a full bottle of wine to 2.5 bottles of water is wine. Because Rav even does 3 bottles to 1. Certainly 2.5 bottles of water to 1 full bottle of wine is 100% wine, and therefore it's agafen.
It's not the good right mix.
It's not Rav's mix, it's other people's mix, right? Train of palganofik, pashle kuza. So 1 whole bottle or a cup is wine. The kuza betreu palga chamra, palga chamra ma'alyo. Mele Rabboisai, have a wonderful day. Oh, 1 minute. Okay, you missed it. We'll talk about it tomorrow.